week recap. If you guys don't know, I got a new piercing. I got my long-awaited vertical Labret piercing, and it's a surface-ish lip piercing. It's a curved barbell. One ball is at the bottom and one ball is at the top of my lip. And I already did a video with a Q&A with my piercer answering all questions that I can think of. Things like how do you take care of the piercing, the healing time, and all these things. I think today is my 8th day of having this piercing, so let's just say that it's been a week, and I'm just going to walk you guys through the swelling, the healing, the pain, and just some detail about how the first week has been with this piercing. First of all, I just wanted to talk about the pain of the actual piercing itself. It's really not that bad, like at all. I was so terrified of the idea of having this long needle go through the middle of my lip, and I have been considering this piercing for, I'd say, like almost about a year, and I always just decided not to do it because I was scared of the idea of it. I think you can see like the actual moment where like I'm like so scared of the needle, but when it's actually through my lip, I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. I'd say on a scale of 1 to 10, it would be like a 4. It's definitely on the lower side. It's really not that bad. I've gotten ear piercings that are a lot more painful than a lip piercing, and I think the worst part of any piercing that I've ever gotten is when they insert the jewelry. That's always super painful. So I'd say that the needle going through itself, it's a 4, but then inserting the jewelry, it's like a 5. I've gotten like 20 to 25 piercings all on different parts of my body, and without a doubt the fear of getting the piercing is always worse than the actual piercing itself. It's really not that bad considering that the pain, like the worst pain, is only going to be like a split second long and it's over with. So if you guys are scared of getting piercings, there's nothing to be scared of as long as you're safe and you do the research and you go to a professional and you take care of it properly. There's really nothing to be scared of. The pain isn't that bad. Okay, so let's talk more in detail about the first day. It really surprised me that there was absolutely no burning or stinging sensation afterwards. If you guys have ever gotten anything pierced, even just your earlobes, there will be like a slight burning or stinging sensation for anywhere from a couple of minutes to a couple of hours depending on you as a person. For me personally, my piercings sting like fucking crazy and they like do not stop. I had my nipple done like last year and that was the worst stinging sensation. It lasted for about 5 hours. My boob literally felt like it was on fire, and I was with my friend and she had also got hers done, and we were just laying there silently in the dark, just like quietly screaming. So yeah, I was really surprised. There was no stinging whatsoever. The only thing was that I felt that the middle of my bottom lip was kind of numb. I couldn't really feel that much, but that's about it. So I'd say that that was a win for me. It was kind of swollen, but honestly not that terrible. Me personally, I couldn't really see that much of a difference unless I really looked in the mirror and was like, yeah, it kind of looks a little bit puffier, but it wasn't really that bad. I pretty much went on with my day normally. I even went to my taekwondo class later that night, and I was exercising and kicking and doing all of this stuff. I even went out with my friends later that night, and I was eating and I was laughing a lot, and we were talking into like late at night at like 1 a.m. And I did feel quite sore by the end of the day, and I think it's because I was laughing and talking so much. So I think that was what made it a little bit sore, but at the same time, not all that bad. It's definitely something that you can just sort of like look over. Mainly for the appearance, I had mine pierced a little bit lower than most people. I specifically requested my piercer that when he marked where the top ball would be, that it wouldn't touch my upper lip when my mouth would close. And because of that, the upper ball is a little bit lower than other piercings that I've seen. But because of that, it's like so easy for me to eat and drink because I just sort of feed whatever it is sort of directly into my mouth. It doesn't really have to touch the piercing, and it's just been really convenient. But just for the first 2 or 3 days, I was pretty slow at eating. I didn't want any accident to happen. I didn't want to accidentally like crash a spoon into my piercing because that would have sucked. So I was considerably slower at eating, but it wasn't that big of a deal. My lower lip did get a little bit sore as I was eating and talking, but again, nothing bad at all. And for drinking, for the first 2 or 3 days, I drank everything out of a straw and I just put it through the side of my mouth. At first, I was actually vlogging my entire first week with the piercing, but by day 2, I was feeling pretty much no pain at all. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm not gonna vlog this. I'm just gonna do a recap instead. So that's what we're doing today. Yeah, I was super shocked. My piercer said that the tenderness could last up to 10 days. Obviously, everybody is different. And so I was sort of expecting this, and I had already gone onto YouTube and looked at other girls' vlogs, seeing their healing period and stuff like that. And in general, people did have like swelling and tenderness for a couple of days. Generally, I'm not that lucky with piercings. If my body has the opportunity to swell, it will puff up like a marshmallow. So I was sort of expecting my lip to sort of do the same thing, as with like other experiences that I've had piercing other parts of my body. My swelling lasted for only about 36 hours. It wasn't even a full 2 days. It was like a day and a half, and afterwards the swelling had gone down. Honestly, after the first few hours of having the piercing, I really didn't feel that bad at all. I woke up the next day and I totally forgot that I even had the piercing in because I couldn't feel anything. Yeah, so I was really shocked. I felt so blessed, and I was honestly ready for a lot worse, but it didn't even come near to that point. I expected it to be a lot worse. I saw other people's vlogs. They would have a line of bruising in the middle of the lip where the needle passed through, and it looks terrible. It looks like someone punched you in the lip. And my piercer told me that he thought that I was going to experience the same kind of bruising. I didn't experience any bruising, so that was really awesome. Small victories. And so by day 3, I think this was probably nearing the end of my symptoms. The next few days after that, I don't really recall because I feel like I pretty much went back to my normal daily life. By the end of the week, day 7, I was completely back to my normal everyday life. I can sloppily eat again like no one's watching. I can drink out of cups and I'm not as careful. Definitely, I've like clashed a cup to my piercing and it doesn't really, I don't feel anything. It really doesn't hurt when I touch it. I was in Taekwondo class and my sparring partner accidentally kicked one of the punching bags into my face, but that was okay. I didn't really feel anything either. This has been just like one of the easiest and most convenient piercings that I've ever had. I am definitely really shocked, but in like the best way possible. And also, if you guys didn't notice, I am wearing a lipstick, and I also wanted to talk about what products you're allowed to wear with this piercing during the initial healing period. So I was doing my own research about this lip piercing, and in general what I found is that you're not allowed to wear any sort of lip product, not even a chapstick, for the initial healing period, which is 2 to 3 weeks. I have chronically dry lips. It's really not okay for me not to wear some sort of moisturizer on my lip. Otherwise, they get really dry and they crack and I have open sores and my lips literally tear, and it's horrifying. It's you guys get the point. So from day 1, even though everybody like told me not to, I was like, you know what? I am a responsible adult. I trust in myself and my ability to take care of my body. So I would take my chapstick or whatever lip moisturizing product that I wanted to use. I would take a really small lip brush, I would dip it in, and I would just go around the sides of my lip. So I would avoid this entire middle center of my lip. I wouldn't even go in the middle between the 2 balls just because I didn't want to risk it. And I also avoided the top part of my lip just in case that it were to make direct contact with the piercing. So I played it pretty safe, and I was just applying my chapstick like this several times a day. You do dry out like very intensely when you get this piercing, and also you're going to be cleaning it in some way. And for me, I was doing the saline soak, so it was making my lips so dry. I really needed to moisturize it several times a day. I cannot imagine what other people do if they don't moisturize their lips during the healing period. Even though you're not supposed to, I didn't have any issues with it. It didn't irritate my lips. I was very careful to avoid the puncture wound, and I was totally fine. And by day 7, even though you're not supposed to be wearing lipstick, I was like, fuck it, I got a lookbook to film, I'm gonna wear lipstick. So I put on lipstick. Again, I used my lip brush to apply very, very carefully. I avoided the actual hole itself, and I was totally fine. It's the 8th day, and I still should not be wearing lipstick, but I have no issues with it. I don't want to be a bad influence. If a professional says not to do it, you probably shouldn't do it. But at the same time, if you are a responsible adult, you know what you're doing, you know what your piercing is telling you, maybe you can risk it. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys found it interesting or helpful. I tried to be as informative as possible, as detailed as possible, because you are doing a body modification, you have to be safe. Definitely if you're looking into doing whatever sort of body modification, not just a piercing, definitely look into other sources and sort of get a good idea of what you're about to do. Yeah, I hope you guys have a safe journey venturing off into doing whatever you want to do with your bodies. So yeah, that's it for this very, very fun video. I really enjoyed doing it. I am very passionate about body piercings, and yeah, I will see you guys again next time.